Those of you who know me know that I am a lawfully licensed concealed weapons carrier. And I carry that weapon pretty much anytime I leave the house. And so one of the things that I think is very important for anybody who carries any kind of concealed weapon, whether that's a firearm or a knife or some other thing, it's a good idea to have insurance to protect you against some kind of lawsuit or criminal action that might be brought against you in the event you have to use that weapon in the form of self-defense. So I thought I would give a little bit of an explanation about some rather troubling things that I've seen on YouTube regarding the kinds of insurance that is available. Now, by way of full disclosure, I write for Concealed Carry Magazine, and Concealed Carry Magazine is the magazine that is put out by the United States Concealed Carry Association, and that is an entity that sells a form of insurance that is designed to protect you from both civil and criminal litigation for the use of a self-defense weapon. I would endorse them. I think they do a good job. And I have never had any difficulties with that organization whatsoever. But of course, you need to look at the policies, you need to read the policies, you need to be sure of what you're getting and understand the differences between the various types of insurance that is available out there. It's also possible to put a lawyer on retainer in the event that you need that lawyer later on, and there is a group of lawyers that offers this service such that they will answer your call 24/7. And I wish them a great deal of luck with that. I think that it's a bit of a risky move for them because essentially they're agreeing to practice in other states without actually being licensed there, and that could put them into trouble. Of course, all they'll have to do is get a pro hoc vice admission or an admission for the purposes of one case in order to make that happen. But still, the issue is that you probably want somebody who's familiar with the people in your area, and that's one of the things that the insurance companies provide. They hire lawyers in your area to help defend you. So with that in mind, one of the things that came up in the comments in one of the videos that discussed this issue was that the insurance companies in some cases can demand that you repay them in the event that you are convicted of a crime. Now, I don't know of any situation where that has happened. But one of the people who made comments in relation to that statement suggested that the lawyer has an inherent desire to essentially see the person convicted because he's working for the insurance company. And that's not right. There are legal rules and legal ethical rules that require a lawyer who is employed by an insurance company to defend someone else to be loyal only to the client, and the client is the person that they're defending. They have no loyalty, and they can have no loyalty to the insurance company. And the reason for that should be obvious. While it's okay to have somebody else defray the cost of paying the legal bills, the only person who can direct the conduct of that litigation is the client, because that's whose interests are at risk. So when you hire a lawyer, either through an insurance company or otherwise, that lawyer works for you. It doesn't matter who pays him. If you are for example, driving your car and somebody jams on their brakes in front of you and you hit them and you wind up getting sued, your car insurance company is going to pay that lawyer. But that lawyer works for you and he has to protect your interests. Now, that doesn't mean he can ignore everything the insurance company says, because the insurance company might at some point revoke its authorization for him to represent you. But in that situation, he would have to move to withdraw, and many times the courts will not allow that. So there are issues that come up in the context of insurance law, and those get litigated. But generally speaking, your lawyer is your lawyer, and it doesn't matter who pays him. Lawyers have an ethical duty to protect their client because that's the way the system works. And even though I have, in several instances, been paid by an insurance company or paid by a different entity to represent someone, I have never shaded that representation on behalf of the person who is paying. Again, that would be unethical. Sometimes it may appear that way, and I want to just put this out here because I want you to understand. The lawyer's job is not to follow the client's wishes blindly. The lawyer's job is to offer advice. Now, as far as the ultimate goal of litigation, it is absolutely the lawyer's duty to follow the request of the client. So if the client wants to take something to trial, it is absolutely the lawyer's job to take it to trial. But a lawyer may offer advice to settle a claim, particularly in the civil context, not because the individual did anything wrong, but because it is a way to cut off the risk. Every day in this country, insurance companies make determinations that they are not going to settle a particular claim. And they do that by saying, we're not going to pay anything on this claim, and if you want money, you'll get it when the court says you can have it and the Supreme Court says you can keep it. And so they will fight something all the way to the Supreme Court to vindicate a legal principle, usually. They don't do that to harm the client. They do that more or less to protect all of their other clients who may be put into a similar situation. Now, in that situation where an insurance company takes something up on appeal, usually the insurance company becomes liable if the judgment entered is greater than the insurance coverage. That doesn't happen automatically. There has to be a separate proceeding to determine whether or not the insurance company acted in good faith or bad faith. But the bottom line is there are procedures in place to protect the client. And generally speaking, courts do a pretty good job of protecting the client. So I hope that makes it a little bit clearer about what a lawyer's duty is when somebody else pays him. When somebody else pays him, he still works for you and he still has to follow your direction. But he may offer you advice that comports with what the insurance company wants to do. But in the end, the person who decides is you. If you have any questions about this, please feel free to leave them in the comments below. I read all of my comments. If you would, take a moment to mash on the like button, and please click the subscribe icon and subscribe to the channel because it helps me out with the YouTube algorithm. Comments and likes tend to boost me in the YouTube algorithm, so I appreciate all of those who take time to offer their opinions. Thank you, and have a great day.